Hey everyone, and welcome ICSE Class of 2026. This is your rapid-fire revision for Electromagnetism from WisePlex. Look, we're going to treat this whole chapter like a massive detective story, okay? It's all about the secret link between electricity and magnetism. This stuff is huge for your boards, so let's get focused and let's nail this thing together.
So where does it all start? Well, the story kicks off way back in 1820 with a super simple observation by a guy named Oersted. He passed an electric current through a wire and a compass he had nearby. Its needles started to twitch, and boom, that was it. That was the first real proof that electricity on the move creates its own magnetic field. That one simple idea is the foundation for everything we're about to cover.
And that discovery just begged a brilliant question. If electricity can make magnetism, could we flip that? Could we run the movie backwards? Could we use magnetism and maybe some motion to create electricity? That single question, that what if, is what drives the two halves of this entire chapter.
All right, so let's dive into part one, from current to magnetism. We're going to follow in Oersted's footsteps and figure out exactly how an electric current makes a magnetic field, and even more important, how we can learn to control this invisible force.
Just take a look at how this builds up. You start with a simple straight wire, and you get these kind of weak circular magnetic fields around it. But what happens if we bend that wire into a loop? See that? The field gets all concentrated in the middle. It gets stronger. Then, for the final boss move, we stack a whole bunch of loops together to make a solenoid. And inside that thing, whoa, the field becomes incredibly strong and really uniform. And that's the goal.
Okay, but which way is the field pointing? For that, we've got our first super important tool, the right-hand thumb rule. Seriously, do this with me right now. Take out your right hand. Point your thumb in the same direction the current is flowing. Now, just curl your fingers naturally. The direction your fingers are pointing, that's the direction of the magnetic field. It's that simple, but you got to practice it until it's automatic.
Now let's take that awesome solenoid and give it a superpower. We're going to wrap it around a piece of soft iron, and that creates what we call an electromagnet. The most important thing you have to remember is that it's a temporary magnet. The magnetism is only there when the current is on. Flip the switch off and poof, the magnetism vanishes. It's a magnet with an on-off button, and that control is what makes it so incredibly useful.
And we can make this thing ridiculously powerful. If you want to boost its strength, and this is a classic exam question, you've got three main options. 1, you can pump more current through the wire. 2, you can add way more turns to the coil. Or 3, and this is the big one, you stick in that soft iron core. Think of the core as a turbo boost that just massively amplifies the whole effect.
Okay, exam alert. This comparison table comes up all the time. The key difference is the core. For an electromagnet, we use soft iron because it's forgetful. It magnetizes like crazy, but the second you turn the current off, it forgets it was ever a magnet. Perfect for our on-off switch. For a permanent magnet, though, we use steel. Steel has a great memory. It's harder to magnetize, but once you do, it stays a magnet for a long time.
So we've figured out how to create a magnet that we can control with electricity. So what, right? Well, this is where it gets really cool. This brings us to our first huge application, using this magnetic force to actually make things move.
Here's the big idea. Our wire with current flowing through it is now its own little magnet. So what happens when you bring one magnet close to another, bigger magnet? Well, they either push or pull on each other, right? It's the exact same thing here. The wire feels a force, and it wants to move.
But which way is it going to move? For that, we need our second tool, Fleming's left-hand rule. And the way to remember it is simple. Left hand for motors. Come on, hold up your left hand. Stretch out your thumb, your forefinger, and your middle finger so they're all at right angles. Now remember, forefinger points in the direction of the magnetic field. Your middle finger points in the direction of the current. And your thumb shows you the direction of the force, or the motion. Field, current, force. You have to master this.
And that rule right there is the entire secret behind every DC motor. The current goes through the coil, and because of the rule, one side of the coil gets pushed up, while the other side gets pushed down. Imagine pushing a door on one side and pulling on the other. It's going to spin. That spinning force is what we call torque, and it's what turns electrical energy into useful spinning motion.
Okay, mission accomplished. We've run the movie forwards. We turned electricity into motion. But now, it's time to answer that question from the very beginning. Let's flip the script. Can we run this movie in reverse? And the answer thanks to the absolute genius Michael Faraday, was a world-changing yes. He figured out that if you move a magnet near a coil of wire, a current just appears. It gets induced in the wire. The key word here, the one you must tattoo on your brain, is change. A magnet just sitting next to a wire does nothing. Zero. The magic only happens with motion, with change.
Now, two big laws control this whole process. First, Faraday's law tells us how much current we get. And it's simple. The faster you change the field, the faster you move that magnet, the bigger the current you get. Then there's Lenz's law, which tells you the direction of the current. I love this one. Think of it as physics being stubborn. The current will always flow in a way to fight back against what you're doing. You try to push a north pole in, and the coil says, nope, and creates its own north pole to push you away.
And, this whole idea of electromagnetic induction, it's not just a cool experiment. It is how we generate pretty much all of the electricity that powers our entire planet.
And you guessed it, there's a hand rule for this too, but this time you have to switch hands. Drop the left, pick up your right hand. The trick to remember is right hand for generators. The setup is exactly the same. Your thumb is the motion you're applying, your forefinger is the magnetic field, and your middle finger now shows you the direction of the induced current. You have to know the difference. Left for motors, right for generators. It's a guaranteed question.
So what does this rule help us build? The AC generator. And it is the perfect, beautiful mirror image of a motor. With a motor, we put electricity in to get motion out. With a generator, we do the opposite. We put motion in, we use wind or steam to spin the coil, and we get electricity out. Okay, last major device, the transformer. This thing is pure genius. It uses that very same induction principle to either step voltage up or step it down. But, and this is a huge but, it only works with alternating current, AC. Why? Because AC is constantly changing. And what's our magic word? Change. No change, no induction. No moving parts needed.
And they basically come in two flavors. If you need to increase the voltage, you use a step-up transformer. It just has more turns of wire on the output coil. If you need to decrease the voltage, use a step-down transformer, which has fewer turns on the output. It's that direct. More turns, more volts. Fewer turns, less volts.
And the math that runs the whole show? It is so beautifully simple, you'll love it for your numerical problems. The ratio of the voltages, secondary over primary, is exactly equal to the ratio of the number of turns, secondary over primary. Vs over Vp equals Ns over Np. That's it. That's the whole formula.
Phew. Okay, that was a lightning tour, right? So let's boil this entire massive chapter down to one final ultimate cheat sheet. This is everything you need at a glance.
Look at this. This is the entire chapter. It's a two-way street. If you start with current and a magnetic field, you get motion. That's a motor, and for that, you use your left hand. If you start with motion and a magnetic field, you get current. That's a generator, and for that, you use your right hand. That's the whole story.
So there you have it. This elegant, perfect symmetry between electricity and magnetism isn't just a chapter in your physics book. It is the fundamental engine that powers our entire modern world. Now you understand how it works, so the only question left is, what are you going to build with it? Now go on, get in there, and ace that exam. You've got this. Good luck.